Welcome back to the Rodecast, guys. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be looking at how effective Trump's policies have been when it comes to immigration. The tough on immigration approach that he has taken with the advice of Stephen Miller and many other people, including Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, and others, has been successful. And in this video, we're going to see a particular example of a family who's been here illegally for years, packing up their stuff and going back to Mexico because of Trump's policies.
They came to Colorado in pursuit of a better life. Now, 3 years later, the situation is so bad, one family says they're moving back to Mexico. It comes amid an increase in arrests and deportations under the Trump administration. President Donald Trump campaigned on launching the largest mass deportation effort in U.S. history. Earlier this week, the Department of Homeland Security said in a release that 2 million illegal immigrants have been removed or have self-deported since January 20th.
Okay, so first thing, America does not owe a better life to any foreigner. I want to make that very clear. It's one of the most important things that I've ever said, and it's because it's true, okay? The American government's job is to make the lives of American citizens, and specifically foundational Americans, better, and make sure that we have a good life here and to secure our country for our citizens. The American government owes exactly zero obligations to foreigners, okay, whether they be from Europe, Asia, Africa, whatever. No one on this planet, other than people who have American citizenship and people whose ancestors built this country, they're the only people who have rights and privileges here. Okay, all these other people who have broken in here over the last, 150 years, we have let them in purely out of the kindness of our hearts, and we should not have done that. Okay, that's my position, not the position of everybody. A lot of Americans support immigration, and wrongfully so, in my opinion, but that's okay. I'm okay with people disagreeing with me. We can have a conversation. We can make decisions after we debate things. That's fine. It's fine to have disagreements. It's not the end of the world. But anyways, none of these people have anything coming to them from the U.S. government. Okay, so this crap that the left has spread, and some people on the Republican Party, about how America is going to provide you a better life. And that's the reason these poor people came here, by the way, from Mexico. And they ruined themselves, as you will see, after coming here illegally. Okay, because people keep telling foreigners that they have a right to come here, that America is for them. No, America is not for them, and the American government has no responsibility for them. The people who suffer are not the liberals, the open borders liberals who tell these people to come, but the people who come here illegally, they're the ones who end up suffering. Okay, and it's also a drain on our government, and it affects the citizens, blah, blah, blah. We know what the effects are, okay? But in this particular case, this family is the one who's being hurt.
1.6 million have decided to go back to their country of origin. The change in policies have received pushback from Democratic lawmakers and community groups. Your reporter, Jasmine Arenas, spoke with that family who has decided to leave the United States. Jasmine, they say life could be better for them in Mexico.
Tells me rising costs, limited work, and immigration fears have made it impossible to stay. They add they paid a smuggler $36,000 to bring them to the U.S. and spent the last 3 years paying that debt back. Now they're heading back with no money, just their belongings. This gray truck has things a family has worked to buy over the last 3 years. Beds, his daughter's toys, and even a stove. Everything they hope would help them build a life in the U.S., now packed up to start over in Mexico.
There's no work. We're also worried about ICE. We have just made the decision to leave on our own terms.
The head of the household, who identified himself as Gerardo for this interview, says when he first...
This is exactly the effect that the Trump administration was hoping for, and they're getting it, which means that Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller should be given enormous credit, because their policies are directly leading to this family leaving. And many others, by the way, millions are leaving, if you believe the numbers, which, we need clear numbers on how and why they're doing that, because we don't have exact numbers. They could be leaving for many different reasons, but most likely they're leaving because of lack of economic opportunities, because Trump is clamping down on employers hiring illegals, and also because deportations are rising, which means that ICE is doing their job. That's Kristi Noem and Todd Lyons. They're doing their job hunting down the illegals. So both of those things mixed together, no economic opportunities and fear of ICE, is leading to this effect. So I guess the people who criticized and said that this kind of immigration policy won't work now have egg on their faces, because it is working. Okay, they lied for years saying that this kind of stuff is not going to deter illegal immigration or force these people to self-deport. Guess you guys were wrong, right? The geniuses at the New York Times and at TYT and all these open borders progressive organizations who are saying that Trump's immigration policy won't work. I guess you guys were wrong, right?
The head of the household, who identified himself as Gerardo for this interview, says when he first arrived in the U.S., he was earning up to $1,400 a week, working as a truck driver. Now he barely makes half.
There's just not enough work.
And this is hilarious because this connects to the literal last video that I made regarding how new rules have been introduced to crack down on illegal truck drivers. Okay. Everything is connecting together. Their immigration policy has been on point. On other things, I disagree with what Trump's administration is doing, but on immigration, they've been crushing it. Okay, they've done the best that anybody can ever do. Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem being the number one people to thank because they're the real brains behind this operation.
Working as a truck driver, now he barely makes half.
There's just not enough work and too many expenses. I used to work up to 7 days a week. Now I only work 2 to 3 days.
Gerardo and his family have dealt with a series of unfortunate events while in Colorado, from wage theft to eviction, including getting his license canceled after being pulled over. He adds language barriers made the encounter with police worse.
Everything just got so complicated. And
See, this is why you don't invite people who have nothing in common with you into your culture. Okay, not only does it beggar your own culture and destroy our country from within, but also destroys these people. Look at them. This guy doesn't belong here. When I say that word, I'm not saying that to be insulting. I'm saying that because it's literally true. Okay, it's like arriving on an alien planet where you don't even speak the language and all the people look weird and white. Okay, that's what these people experience. Okay, and this is why they shouldn't come here. They have to make their own lives in their own country. This open borders, traveling everywhere, mixing melting pot BS doesn't work. The people who suffer the most are the people who actually come here, the aliens themselves. They're the ones who suffer, and we also suffer as well. But the first people to suffer is them, being in a country and a place that they don't belong in. Again, these people don't want to learn. That part of the problem is them. Okay, they don't want to learn. They don't want to assimilate. They want to keep speaking Spanish. They don't want to learn English. This guy doesn't speak any English after being here for years. But nevertheless, he's doing the right thing by leaving because he doesn't belong here, and he's finally realized that. Many others have realized that. And that's why we need tough immigration policy so that these foreigners who don't belong here can go back to their own countries. I have nothing personal against these people other than the fact that they've invaded my country. That I take personally.
that's why we have made the decision to leave back to Mexico.
But if there's any silver lining, it's his 9-year-old daughter being able to learn the English language in 2 years. She says she appreciates the time she spent in Colorado, but is happy to leave.
I'm not sad because I'm going to see my family over there.
See, the kid has a good right idea. Okay, you can go be with your family where you belong. It's not a horrible thing. The left acts like deportations are like us putting these people in a gas chamber, when what's really happening is they're going back to their families in their own countries. It's not the end of the world, and stop pretending like it is. That's why they're calling ICE fascist, okay, acting like ICE is literally the Nazis. But the Nazis were shooting people dead, okay? So no, we are not the Nazis in any way. We are taking people who broke into our country back to their own countries, giving them a free plane ride, by the way. And they're acting like we're the Gestapo. It's hilarious how the left reacts to this immigration stuff, man. They are out of their minds.
I also asked Gerardo if he thinks there's still an American dream.
Well, for the people that have established themselves here, yes. But for those arriving now, well, it's very complicated.
He adds he doesn't recommend.
Yes, the people who are established, like myself. The American dream is for Americans, like my ancestors and me who've built this country. Okay, my ancestors more than me. Okay, the people who built this country, the people who are descended from the people who built this country, they are what the American dream is for. I am an American. This guy is not an American. He will never be an American because his ancestors didn't build this land and his blood didn't build this land. He has no right to be here. It's like how if I go to Mexico, I would be a foreigner. I have no rights in Mexico because my ancestors didn't build Mexico. That matters. To say that doesn't matter, if anybody says it doesn't matter who built the country, then you're saying that history doesn't matter. Then you're a history denier. Congratulations. And you're saying that our ancestors and our blood doesn't matter, that our heritage and our legacy doesn't mean anything. Try telling that to people in Mexico, okay, who are now, by the way, deporting foreigners out of their own country. And I applaud that. That's the way every country should be. Every government should look out for their own people. That's why we pay taxes. This is very easy. This is not difficult. Okay, but people want melting pots in every country, and they want every country to destroy their own identity and heritage. That's what I have something against. That's what the left wants to do. Open borders people. Okay, and nobody agrees to that. Mexico doesn't even agree to that. Now the Jew slash Mexican, the president, she's doing exactly what Trump is doing by deporting illegals out of their own country. Good, secure your own land for your own people. That's what you're supposed to do as the government. So the Mexican government is doing the right thing.
People leave their country of origin for the U.S., at least not right now.
You're going to struggle a lot. If you don't speak English or have documents, you won't have work.
Good. That's exactly what I want. See, it's good that he's realized that. I hope every other illegal realizes that. We need to keep cracking down on this so that they all leave, because they need to understand that this country is not for them. This country is for us, the people who built it and their descendants. Okay, this country is not for random people to just break in. Just because you have problems in your house doesn't mean you can break into my house. That's the simplest way I can explain this. Okay, it's not that difficult to understand. Same thing with countries. Just because we live next to your country doesn't mean you can just sneak through the border and just live here. You can't do that. And people need to understand that they can't do that, because some people have given the idea, some people, you all know who they are, have given the idea that the whole world can come to America and just stay here. No, you can't do that. You cannot do that. And you all need to understand that, because there are people in this country, natives of this country, who the government is supposed to work for and needs to work for.
Family adds right now they do not have money for the right vehicle to haul their trailer from Greeley to Laredo, Texas. Their small 4-cylinder truck just can't carry the load. They are hoping someone who watches this is able to help them tow their truck back to Texas. Find out more information on our website. Tori.
So yeah, I hope they find somebody and they can have a good life in Mexico. Like I said, I have nothing personal against these people. And more than them, it's the people who've given them the idea that everybody in the world can come here. Now, those people are the real ones to blame. Okay. Now, these people have to be held personally responsible for their mistakes as well and their law breaking, sure. But they're going back. So they're doing the right thing and returning to where they came from. So I have nothing against them. I wish them the best of luck in Mexico. Nothing against them personally, but you cannot be here. That's the only thing I can say to them. Okay. I have no personal animus towards these people. Anyways, that's all I got to say for this video. Trump's policies are working and he needs to keep up the pressure to save this country and to benefit the American people. The American government should be working for us. And that's the bottom line. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video, as always.